Right now, somewhere in a drawer or a wallet or a savings account, you have money sitting still. It is not moving. It is not working. It is just there. And on the surface, that feels responsible, safe, smart even. You earned it. You saved it. You did not blow it on something stupid. So why does every financial expert on earth treat that decision like a quiet catastrophe? Here is what almost nobody tells you about money that sits still. It is not actually sitting still. It is shrinking. Every single day, while you do nothing, something invisible is eating it. That something has a name. It is called inflation. And it has been doing this to human wealth since the first time someone decided to store value instead of spend it. The average inflation rate over the last century has hovered around 3% per year. That number sounds small. It is not small. At 3% annual inflation, the purchasing power of your money is cut in half in roughly 24 years. So that drawer full of cash you left untouched? In a quarter century, it buys half as much as it does today. You did not lose anything. You just held on too tightly. And the world moved without you. Now imagine two people. Both start at age 22. Both earn the same salary. Both are careful, responsible, financially conscious adults. The only difference between them is one decision made at age 22 that neither of them fully thinks through. One person begins investing a modest amount each month. The other keeps their money in cash in a savings account, paying almost nothing, telling themselves they will invest when the time feels right, when markets calm down, when they understand it better, when life gets less complicated. Spoiler, life never gets less complicated, and the time never feels right. Fast forward to age 62, 40 years later. The investor has not done anything extraordinary. No hot stock tips, no cryptocurrency moonshots, no insider information. They simply put money into a broad index fund every month and let it compound. Based on the historical average return of the S&P 500, which has averaged around 10% annually before inflation since its inception, their modest monthly contribution has grown into something that changes the shape of their entire life. The other person has the same salary history, the same discipline, more cash on hand at every moment along the way actually, because they never redirected anything toward investments. And at 62, they are looking at a fraction of the wealth. Not because they were irresponsible, because they were perfectly, tragically still. This is not a hypothetical. This is mathematics. And it has a name: compound interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he actually said it or not is debated by historians, but whoever said it was right. The core idea is simple, but the implications are staggering. When your money earns a return, and that return is reinvested, and then the new total earns a return, and that return is reinvested again, you are no longer adding. You are multiplying. Every dollar you have is making more dollars, and those dollars are making more dollars. And the longer this continues, the faster it accelerates. The key word is time. Time is the engine. Here is a specific example. If you invest $200 per month starting at age 22, assuming a 10% annual return, you will have approximately $1.3 million by age 62. $1.3 million from $200 a month. If you wait until age 32 to start, same $200 per month, same return, you end up with roughly $456,000, less than half. Not because you invested less total money. The difference in total contributions between starting at 22 versus 32 is only $24,000. But the time gap costs you nearly $900,000 in final wealth. Those 10 years of delay cost you $900,000. Think about that. This is what economist William Bernstein describes in his work on wealth and time horizons. The investor who waits is not just missing gains. They are missing the gains on the gains on the gains. The exponential curve that should have been working for them during those 10 years did not vanish. It just grew someone else's portfolio instead. And here is the cruelty of it. The years you delay feel like the wrong time to invest. Markets are high, or markets are crashing, or there is a war, or there is an election, or there is uncertainty. There is always something. There is always a reason your brain constructs to justify staying still. Because your brain is not actually designed to think in 40-year arcs. Dr. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Prize-winning psychologist and author of Thinking Fast and Slow, spent his career studying how humans make decisions under uncertainty. One of his most disturbing findings is that your brain is wired to feel losses roughly twice as painfully as it feels equivalent gains. This is called loss aversion. Investing feels like putting something at risk. Holding cash feels like keeping something safe. So your instinct is almost always to hold, to wait, to preserve. But what you are not feeling, because the brain has no mechanism to feel it viscerally, is the quiet ongoing loss of inflation. You are not losing money in a way that shows up red on a screen. You are just slowly falling behind the world. And the brain, wired for immediate visible threats and not invisible 40-year erosions, does not sound an alarm. Your ancestors needed this wiring. When your great-great-grandmother faced a drought, hoarding grain was survival. Holding resources close meant living another season. The cautious brain survived. The gambler brain did not. So evolution, across tens of thousands of years, built humans who feel security in holding and anxiety in releasing. The only problem is that the modern financial world does not reward holding. It rewards motion, deployment, compounding, time in the market. There is a phrase in investing that became famous through a study by researchers at Putnam Investments. Time in the market beats timing the market. What this means is simple but counterintuitive. Trying to jump in and out of the market at the perfect moment, selling before crashes and buying before rallies, is a strategy that fails for almost everyone, including most professional fund managers, but simply staying invested over long periods through crashes and booms alike captures the full power of compounding and historically produces superior returns. A study often cited in behavioral finance circles found that if you missed just the 10 best trading days of the S&P 500 over a 20-year period, your returns were cut nearly in half. The best days are almost impossible to predict. They often happen right after the worst days, during the moments of peak fear when most non-investors are relieved they stayed out, and most spooked investors have sold. The person who never invests does not just miss the gains. They miss the recovery. They miss the rebound. They miss the best days, which arrive disguised as the worst days. Now think about what this means for you, specifically. Not an abstract investor. You. Let us say you are 30 years old. You have been meaning to start investing, but have not. Every year that passes, the math gets heavier. Not impossible, not hopeless. The math still works in your favor if you start now. But the window that was open at 22 is narrower now. The runway is shorter. You need to contribute more per month to reach the same destination, or you accept a smaller destination, or you extend your working years. None of those options are catastrophes, but all of them are the direct financial consequence of the years you stayed still. Now here is the part almost nobody talks about. The effect of never investing is not only financial. Research by Dr. Thomas Stanley, co-author of The Millionaire Next Door, found that wealth-building behavior tends to compound psychologically as well as financially. People who begin investing, even small amounts, develop a different relationship with money over time. They become more aware of spending decisions. They start to see purchases through the lens of opportunity cost. They begin asking not just what something costs, but what that same money would be worth in 20 years if deployed differently. The non-investor does not just lose the compound interest. They often lose the mindset shift that investing creates. They stay in a spend and hold pattern that feels completely normal because it is what most people around them are doing. And the people around them are, by and large, not building wealth either. The investor, meanwhile, has fundamentally different conversations with themselves every time they open their wallet. That cognitive shift, that rewiring of how you relate to money, is worth something that compound interest calculators cannot even measure. So here you are, right now. Maybe you have a savings account that feels like a responsible choice. Maybe you have been waiting for the right moment. Maybe investing feels complicated or risky, or like something other people understand better than you. All of those feelings are real. All of them are also, unfortunately, working against you. Because the cost of never investing is not a bill that arrives in the mail. There is no alert, No notification. No visible red number on a screen. The cost is invisible, cumulative, and enormous. It is the gap between who you could have been financially and who you will be if nothing changes. And every single day that gap quietly grows a little wider. That drawer full of cash that felt so responsible at 22? At 62, it does not feel responsible at all. It feels like the most expensive decision you ever made. And you made it by doing absolutely nothing.